This next round is our version of question time called Ask the Politicians. I'll play the host. Rory, you're Tony Benn. Hugh, you're a Tory spokesman. And Al, you're the voice of the silent majority. Can we have our first audience question from, I think, the intense Scottish man there, please?
Yes. Can I ask the panel what single law they would introduce to make Britain a better place?
Tony Benn, would you like to come in on that?
Well, you see, straight away, I wouldn't do a single law because I'd say a lot of laws because that's got an S in it. But but the best law, I would say, was Andrew Bonar Law, who was a Conservative minister and became Chancellor of the Exchequer in 1910. Wonderful person. I met him, and I met him the first time. And he was the first person who got me interested in politics.
But the answer to the question, Mr. Benn, if you could possibly...
Well, you see, there we go. We're concentrating on personalities, not on issues. I think that's completely wrong, and I'll come back to you later.
OK. Tory, Hugh?
No foreigners.
Is that what you'd say?
Well, I think it's time for the decent, honest, hard-working, law-abiding, tax-paying, normal, sensible, reasonable, down-to-earth, hard-working, normal, law-abiding, down-to-earth, sensible, reasonable people. Hard-working, law-abiding, tax-paying, fleeced, decent, honest, hard-working, law-abiding, normal, decent, reasonable, sensible, law-abiding, normal, hard-working people of this country who don't want to pay their speeding fines, regardless how fast we may have been going the wrong way up the slip road, on a phone, no seatbelt, no tax, no MOT, no insurance, whilst eating a burger and receiving oral sex on the telephone. Haven't you got anything better to do, officer? It's time for us to speak. And bring back hanging, obviously.
Let's go to our second question. The swarthy Greek lady on that side there, please. Yes?
Oh, thanks. I was just wondering that as Britain chairs the European presidency, what changes should we be making? And would anyone like some falafel?
Falafel, Tony Benn?
Well, I've never falafeled in my life. And
the European Union?
Well, I've never been a fan of the European Union. I think it'd be a very good thing if Britain were towed away into the North Sea, a little bit further away.
Now, that's strange. It's the first time I've ever agreed with anything you've ever said, mate. Right?
Well, you've obviously not been listening. That's all I can say.
I've been listening. I've simply chosen to remain silent up until now.
Well, I must say you're very
I'm the voice of the silent majority.
Well, I must say...
Obviously, having said that, I'm no longer a member, but the point... I think European Union, change your name to the British Empire as a mark of gratitude. Call the euro the pound, right? And new kit.
I feel, really, the very best thing to do would be to move the European Parliament to the Millennium Dome. They're both a waste of money. It'd be good to get them both lumped together.
OK, the lady there in the middle. You have a question?
Indeed. Now that Cub Scouts don't have to swear allegiance to the Queen and God anymore, who do the panel think that they should swear allegiance to?
Tony Benn.
I think you have to go a long way to beat Clement Attlee.
I, personally, have sworn allegiance to a Cub Scout. He's absolutely lovely and he does marvellous things with his woggle.
One phone call, you're on a register.
Who would you pledge allegiance to? Voice of the silent majority?
Well, speaking for the people who would have shot that burglar a third time, he shouldn't have done that anyway. He should have dug a pit with steel spikes and manure on the spikes and a rug on the top. In comes the burglar, falls in. Who's there? Who would I swear allegiance to?
Yeah.
Well, in fact, this is nonsense. It's got to be the Queen. I've got to go back to the Queen. And I love the royal family. Not just out of mindless loyalty.
If not that, then what?
I fancy her. They're all dirty, those German birds, aren't they?
Do you follow the rules of etiquette when meeting the royal family?
What are you talking about?
I recently discovered that one is not meant to turn one's back on the Queen. I don't understand. She's very unlikely to nick anything.
First subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And that's a wonderful sleight of hand from the Welsh fly half. He's picked up the loose ball, he's tucked it back in his shorts, and nobody seems to have noticed.
I can see Nico Rosberg's helmet.
Apologies, after 15 years in this job, I've just been told it's not pronounced croquette.
And after that victory, they'll be dancing on the street of Samoa tonight. 100 metres in 4 hours, 26 minutes, and that is metre reading at its very best.
Now, Garry Kasparov, he's going to move his pawn. And he's done it just in time. His wife's home, but he's got it under the bed.
Welcome to beach volleyball. The players are currently getting changed into their kits while their mums hold a towel up in front of them.
And Shane Warne will be laughing on the other side of his face after that surgery.
I'd like to apologise. What you're watching is, in fact, judo, and not, as I said earlier, timed pyjama cuddling.
Well, this should be relatively easy for Rory McIlroy. Oh, how has he done that? All he had to do was say, get a Santander 1, 2, 3 account.
Kasparov toying with his bishop. Oh, no, his wife's home, she's caught him!
Ah, that pot was remarkable. But now I've got a major case of the munchies.
We'd just like to refute the idea that the BBC has lost coverage rights of all good sports. We now cross to a girl playing noughts and crosses against a clown.
What a thrilling cricket match.
Left hand, big right hand again, big left hand. Why has no one put these gloves in pairs? What the fuck is a furlong?
Okay. Subject is the West Country.
I'll say this.
Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, is it, do I like what's-its? It's phenomenal. Just wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King de Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Okay, we're left with Michael and Andy. Let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is North-South Divide. There goes Michael.
Right, yes. Now, I am from the south. You noticed? I have been north, up the M1, and I don't know what happens to the word the. It seems to disappear at about junction 25 on the M1, and the word the just goes, that's it from me, I'm getting off. You go on ahead. Are you coming No, I'm not interested up there. And then you get there and they don't have this up to fridge, or you're going up to... What are you doing? My first experience of this was when I went to the cinema in Leeds. I saw The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had more fun asking the woman what it is I'd booked to see than watching the entire movie itself. So what is it I'm seeing here today? Took Lion, Took Witch and Took Wardrobe. What are you talking about? You're hearing this? Are you taking toothpaste? Yes, of course. I thought it might be a nice idea maybe to go to HMV and get a DVD of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, maybe The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and perhaps an album by The, and just line them up on the counter. What is it I've decided to purchase here? Took One, Took Witch and Took Wardrobe. Took Good, Took Bad and Ugly. And Took. Thank you.
Well done, Michael.
And the topic is relationships. Who wants to come in with that? Russell.
Britain, I have sexual advice for you. That's right. When I was 18, I used food in the bedroom. Now, don't ever do it. It didn't go well, right? I used Rolo yogurt. And rather than tell... Yeah, exactly, right? Rather than tell my then-girlfriend what I had planned, I pretty much waited for her like some hideous yogurt goblin, right? Now, I doubt there's anything more terrifying than coming home to find me naked, holding yogurt, going, yeah, right? And I panicked, and rather than putting a little bit on, I pretty much basted her, right? By the time I'd finished, she looked a bit like Morph. You're sat there. I created an angry meal. You don't know where to start licking. You don't want to lick randomly, then she looks like she's got an illness. So, I did foot up to knee. That took me an hour. And hours, I was just... She looked like an angry gingerbread lady who'd had her leg dipped in Tippex, right? It didn't end there. I was like, I can't help you. The door opened, one of my dogs ran in and started licking the other leg. Never use food in the bedroom.
Thank you very much, Russell Howard. So that leaves us with Stuart. Let's have a look at the last topic then. And the topic is family. Stuart.
Before I rock the microphone, I want to dedicate my performance to my father, who was a roofer. So, Dad, if you're up there. I'll tell you about my family. I'm the youngest of three. My parents are both older, and I have mixed-race parents. My father prefers the 100 meters, and my mother's Pakistani. I was raised by my father. My mother left before I was born. And you know, I like being raised by my father. He's schizophrenic, but he's good people. I remember one summer I was 5 and he was Mussolini. Went to the park that day. I love parks. Standing in the park today wondering, why does a frisbee appear larger the closer it gets? And then it hit me. My uncle's a hypnotist who has never inappropriately touched me. I have to leave now. I'm a member of Overactors Anonymous, and we have an Overactors Anonymous meeting that starts in...
In other news, what type of unusual theme park did President Vladimir Putin open recently?
I'm sorry about the rotten doll thing, Dara.
Just let it go.
Oh, what you were doing.
Stop doing that! Oh, No! Do not damage the magical Christmas. Okay, how has the behaviour of Western tourists upset people in Malaysia recently?
Well,
saw that, didn't you? You saw the way I obviously didn't go straight to the only remaining person.
This is the Breeze. Oh, bollocks.
Sure, you wouldn't.
On my back. This is the Bruce Sport.
Hey! There's really good heroin on this. Don't knock the tree down.
Oh, look, it's snowing!
Our next one is called Newsreel. Sorry. Right. You've got a cold, all right? Jesus. Boys, you're all so better than me. You've never had a cold, right?
Obama versus Putin. Let the limp stay fucking up.
What unusual present might people be giving this Christmas? That's right, jizz. Sorry, did anyone tell me why, sperm would be a Christmassy thing?
Because it is Christmassy, you can write on the windows with it.
Put it on again. Put it on again. The eye patch, put it on again. Go on.
Oh, you look funny. You look funny. Do the thing where you look funny again. You know when you made you look like the guy from the back of a fucking bus, and for 3 years, everyone sends you photographs of a cartoon man on the back of the bus every day on Twitter. Hey, Dara, I saw you in Manchester today, huh? Click. Oh, bollocks, that's bad. On the back of the bus again. Do that with an eye patch, and then for years, every eye patch person in the universe, I will get sent him on Twitter. Happy? There. I'll take it on my nose. Is that all right? Is that all right? Oh, I hurt my nose. Oh, wow, it looks like I'm wearing a G-string.
If the marketing people are clever, that bloke on the back of the megabus is going to have an eye patch by next week.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear at Christmas.
I don't care how many presents he's left, there's reindeer shit all over the roof. Look at those shiny red baubles. Welcome to the Embarrassing Bodies Christmas special.
Well, I didn't know what size you were, so I just had to guess. There you go. Your first packet of condoms.
And now on BBC One, the Queen's speech, which contains scenes of a sexual nature.
A crib full of straw? No, I asked to see the manager.
I thought if I cut the legs off the turkey, I'd be able to get it into the roasting tray easier, but if anything, it just made it flap about even more.
It's lovely to have venison for a change. Santa, how are you getting home?
Well, take a skewer and shove it into a meaty bit of the thigh, and if she screams, Granny's asleep, not dead.
Sorry, Tiny Tim. OK, and then David Cameron leaves the room and the pighead winks, smiles and blows a little kiss. And that is my idea for the new John Lewis ad.
These sprouts are from Germany. They lied about the emissions again.
So do you mean I need batteries for all of these? That's the last time I go out in summers for Christmas.
No, I didn't put a penny in the Christmas pudding. I spent a penny in the Christmas pudding.
Vorderman Smiley McGiffin. No, Reverend, this is not what I meant when I said which carols do you want to do?
Your category is home news. The answer is 43 years. What is the question?
Is it for how long will the average Glastonbury goer keep their wristband on?
Is it how long will it take for Nigel Farage's erection to subside?
Is it, if Jeremy Corbyn asked the shadow cabinet for a high five, how long would they leave him hanging?
Is it how long will somebody have to wait if they're born today before they can move out of their parents' house?
Is it how long will you have to wait for your Uber if everyone gets deported?
Is it how long does Rob take to brush his teeth?
Big teeth, isn't it? Is it what's the age difference between Cher and parts of Cher?
Is it how many years has Jeremy Corbyn had his shirt?
Is it the average age of the Russian under-21 gymnastic team?
Does any of you know what the correct answer is?
On which wedding anniversary is it traditional to give them some time apart?
Well, actually, I think it's how long have we been in the EU?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Cheers. The question I was looking for was how long has the UK been a member of the EU before Thursday's momentous referendum vote to leave? How have people reacted to the result?
I'm pretty furious with my granddad. I mean, I was only being nice to him to get the inheritance, and now his vote has made the inheritance worthless.
There's been a big age divide, though, hasn't there? A lot of the older people have voted to leave, and a lot of the younger people have voted to stay. And I just think if you are a person over 65, I'd avoid stairs for the next 10 years.
I think we could have prevented that, though, by making an internet vote.
It'd be very wrong to stereotype all Leave voters as old anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Although it doesn't matter if we do, because they'll all be in bed by now.
Statistically, 4,000 of them are already dead. If we just... It's going to take 2 years to leave. If we just held the referendum in 2 years, it would have been a landslide.
Yes, so we're very, very disappointed. Some people felt it, it's a trait of the British people, the desire for sovereignty, the desire for independence, all that,
Yeah, there was a big war cry, wasn't it, to get Britain back, and that's already started. The currency is already back to a point that it was in 1985, so it's clearly working.
When Sunderland voted to leave, I thought maybe they thought they were voting to leave Sunderland.
Would I like to leave? Fantastic. If I go in, I just tick yes. I go into another booth and suddenly, like Mr. Ben, I'm not in Sunderland anymore.
I think the Cornish voted to leave as well, didn't they? Cornwall voted to leave because they think it's going to give the fishing industry a boost, which it probably will, because fish will become our currency when...
It's like the country's had, like, an office affair. We've got to, like, middle age, had an office affair, thought this is a bit crazy, actually, I'm going to leave her. Yeah, and then they get a new flat in Canary Wharf, going, yeah, freedom! And give it 2 years, they're crying, sitting in their pants, and the people that are left over are the kids, and they're screwed.
I tell you what, the Cameron was right.
Jesus, that was brutal.
I've got it if you need it, mate.
Cameron said it'd be bad for jobs, and he was right, because his was gone by 8 o'clock the next morning.
So who's been backtracking since the referendum result?
Well, a lot of people have been regretting their decisions. It's because it's split up families. It's divided families. It's divided friends. I mean, I've got a Dutch wife, so on the morning after the referendum, it was just tragic to watch her packing the little clogs into a bag, taking the little wheels of cheese away.
My girlfriend demanded to know if I was in or out. Unfortunately, we were having sex at the time.
Yes, there's been a lot of basically a lot of the Leave campaign have been forced to go. Oh yeah, did we say that? Did we say 350 million? Oh, really? It wasn't written anywhere, really. Oh, on the side of a bus. Oh, well, you know the way people write things on the side of buses all the time.
Dara.
I mean, I saw there was a side of bus going around near me recently which said that Batman vs Superman is a 5-star movie. That was on a bus for ages, and it's not. Really.
I think the £350 million claim was the most dubious figure on the side of a bus since you did those megabus adverts. I couldn't let that one lie.
I understand people having regrets about it, because I mean, we all have regrets about things, you know. I have many regrets, usually they're connected to a hangover, but I've never woken up in the morning and gone, my God, did I cause the currency to crash last night? Did I have some part in that?
Isn't it? Yeah. Well, people rarely, when you wake up after a bad night, hand you a graph. Oh dear, this looks bad.
Well, now we've got control of our borders. People are saying that the population could go down by as much as 5 million people, or Scotland, as they prefer.
Well, I mean, the Leave campaign wanted to bring more manufacturing back into Britain, didn't they? That was their thing, and they've started with the truth. They've just started manufacturing their own truth in Britain. Well done.
Hey, by the way, we should. Because it's a nationally broadcast show and they're cheering for certain points of view that are expressed here, should remind we're all in the bubble here, people. That bubble which manages to be London, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Gibraltar. That weird, freaky bubble that pops up randomly at points. Yeah,
they want a speedy divorce, don't they? The EU, like, is it Juncker? Is his name Juncker?
Yeah,
Juncker. He wants that speedy divorce. I reckon we should get like Cheryl Vicini, Fernandez, Tweedy, Cole. We should get her in. She is smashing for the divorces and she's looking all right. I'll get her in to head it up.
I love that the result of the Brexit vote has meant that Rob refuses to pronounce any European names.
Yes, and the question I was asking for is how long was Major Tim Peake on the International Space Station before he returned to Earth this week? Yes, there he is in a deck chair, not doing a tap.
But the only reason he come back was because the Russian bloke on the space station stuck up behind him in Italy on the end of a bar stool.
I watched the news report about it, but I'm hard of hearing, so I used the subtitles, and it genuinely said that he was up in space for 6 months without gravy, and it took me ages to realise they meant gravity. To be fair, he was without both, and I couldn't do it, you know.
I mean, there's that anti-gravy machine they have. Since.
So I just realised there's a fucking box under my... No wonder I've got no space. Look at this.
What is it?
Just found that. The old shark guy, it's a bit tight down here, isn't it?
What artefacts have you discovered?
I don't know. And I've dropped my drink. This is an absolute nightmare. I've done the carpet, I'm afraid.
He set a lot of records while he was in space, didn't he, Tim Peake?
He did.
But it was kind of like, once he got into space, that was the hard part, and then just everything he did, he was the first person to do it in space. It was just like, he was the first person to get on the New Year's Honours list in space. He was the first person to do a marathon in space. It's just, once you get into space, that's you. It's like, if I got into space, I could set records for first man to clean his glasses on his underpants. In space, you know.
He did run a marathon up there, didn't he? And I thought I'd run a marathon if I had an option to float bits of it.
Just set the treadmill on really fast. I'll just hover above it.
I haven't hit the wall yet. When's the wall coming?
It's gotta be honest, this is so difficult. I've done 4 miles already.
He did the marathon. He didn't do any football because they wouldn't have got past the coin toss.
What did he do up there?
He did experiments up there.
He basically did media. Oh, he didn't have the time to do experiments.
Media. He did 6 months of experiments.
What experiments did he do?
250 different experiments of different things in zero gravity, yeah.
Rob, he's a decent guy.
Don't you think the Americans are watching it, though? I mean, it's incredibly, you know, we're excited, but the Americans must be watching it going, you are literally 40 years behind us.
There were Americans as well, you know, on this. That's all the Americans are doing as well.
Are you going to shut down every comical notion we bring to you now? Yes, but he's in space, so leave him alone.
Respect the spaceman.
I love science, and everything's OK because it's science.
I think
I have a joke said about astronauts. Just because he's gone up there and done experiments, I don't know exactly what they are, I've just been told.
You think he's bluffing that actually...
He's on a blank, mate. He's been up there.
The slightly sad thing about it, he's the first British astronaut, but he is representing the European Space Agency, isn't it? So if there is Brexit, the next British astronaut is going to be in a hot air balloon on a very long...
I think he deserves all the honours he's getting, because it is a dangerous mission to get that much closer to the sun when you're that ginger.
It was sort of ridiculous that when the guy from the European Space Agency said, well, you know, how will he feel? He said, well, I think he's going to be a bit shocked by gravity. You think he's got a very short memory, hasn't he?
He's been up there 6 months, like with no atmosphere, so to ease him back in, they've taken him to the new Top Gear studio. Take that, Chris Evans.
The first comment when it came out was that the Earth smelt really strongly of Earth, and everybody sort of shuffled uncomfortably and went, that's just Kazakhstan.
I like the way he said, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my wife and having my first shower for 6 months. Like, other way round, mate. That's it. Unless she likes him a bit gamey. So I'll do it the other way round.
So how do they wash in space?
They get a cloth. They wash with the
Just
cloth.
with a cloth?
With the cloth,
yeah.
Dirty bastard.
Yes, sir. So would you like to go in space?
Yeah, no, it's really... I found... Oh, hello. Jesus Christ. What are the fucking flies?
Oh, Tim Peake's not here, is he? Smelly bastard Tim Peake's not turned up with us.
The first subject is nationality. Who wants to come in that?
I'll take it.
Olga.
Hell yeah! Hi. Nationality is a very big topic for me because I'm originally from Russia and I need to start every set like that because I know that they're listening. I have a very Russian name. My name is Olga. Olga is the most common name in Russia. It is, of course, Old Slavic for I wish you were a boy. My last name is K-O-C-H. It's meant to be pronounced Koch, but if you're living in an English-speaking country, 8 out of 10 times I am Olga Koch. I ran for student government of my high school under the slogan, I want me some cock. And I won. Also, I don't know if you know this, but in Russia, we don't have middle names, we have patronyms. So instead of another name, I have my father's name. So if you look into my passport, it literally says Olga Alfredskak. So I never forget where I come from. I was born in 1992, shortly after Russia elected its first ever president, which started a very long history of Russian people electing presidents all over the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Olga. That leaves us with Nigel. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. Now, the topic is food and drink. Where you go?
I'm foreign too. Yeah, I get the immigrants to do it. It's cheaper, you know? I'm from Malaysia originally, and I moved to the UK 4 years ago, mainly for comedy, and so I can drink tap water and not shit myself. Yeah. Favorite part of the country, by the way. Pretty great here, right, tap water?
Ironing my shirt today, got a little bit thirsty, just spray some ironing water straight into my mouth. No malaria, nice. When I first moved here, I asked the guy here, like, what's the worst thing you have in your UK tap water? You know what he told me? Lime scale. Well, what the hell is lime scale? Does it give you a headache? Does it make you vomit? He said, no, just makes the inside of your kettle a little bit white. Life must be so hard for you. With your kettle discoloration problems. I love scale. I eat all the scale now, all right? I'm gonna go home and lick my teapot later. Even when we take the trains here, even the train toilets tell you the tap water in there is not drinkable, right? I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. It turns out they're right. Set myself in the real replacement bus service.
Well done. Very good. Points there for Olga. Or either of them. Come on, come back. Thank you. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Rod, which category would you like?
The media, please.
Right, the media, okay. The answer is 1 million. What is the question?
How many Asian children are Brad and Angelina planning to adopt?
Is it, how many times could I punch Adrian Chiles in the face without making him uglier?
Is it in a poll of 1 million people? How many people hate Cristiano Ronaldo?
Is it?
Yes, clearly neither he nor his mother were in the poll then.
No. Is it how many men will take their kids to watch Harry Potter this week simply to see how Hermione's getting along?
Is it, in 20 years' time, what will be the size of the black nation that Madonna rules?
Is it, how many nectar points do you need to get a set of tumblers?
How much of the money that Amy Winehouse made from the song Tried to Make Me Go to Rehab has she spent on rehab?
Is it by what percentage would the situation in the Middle East be improved if we gave George Bush to the Taliban?
Is it, what number would you get if you took everybody in Scotland who gave a shit about the Ashes and added 1 million?
Is it the number? It's something to do with the phone tapping thing.
It is something to do with the phone tapping, yeah.
Is it the number of conversations of John Prescott's they had to listen to before they got one without the words party bucket in it?
Oh, I know what it is. It's the amount of celebrities that were on a list that they were going to...
Not 1 million.
It's the number they
How
paid
long a list? How long a list would that be?
Hey, it's the amount the News of the World had to... That's paid out so far to people who have accused them of tapping their phone.
Absolutely well done, Rod Gilbert. Absolutely spot on. Very good. Things you don't want to hear from your flatmate.
That's my milk in the fridge. I squeeze it out of my tits with a vice.
No, we can't share the electricity bill. I've got a phone charger and a laptop, and you're on a life support machine.
My last flat was just like Friends. Have you seen the one where Joey kills everybody?
I love talking to you. With you, I can...
Be my real self.
There's just 2 of us. Well, 3 if you count God.
I'd give it 10 minutes in the toilet if I were you. That one could talk.
Well, if you don't think I'm a nosy bastard, why did you write that in your diary?
just a novelty shower gel in the shape of a webcam?
Hey, you said there wasn't enough room to swing a cat. Look at this.
I don't see why I should pay for half the loo roll when I never use any.
I'll tell you what, that Hoover is powerful.
And it's relationships.
Right, relationships. It's good to be here. Last time I was here, a girl asked me for sex. I had to disappoint her. We had sex. But I'm trying to learn to be a more sensitive lover. I got a DVD, How to Improve Your Foreplay Technique. It was really good. I had to fast forward through the boring bit at the beginning. I'm really bothered with that. Last night I had beef stew with dumplings. I shouldn't call her that, but she's a big girl. I went to see the stalactites at Cheddar Gorge, and our guide asked us not to try and crack one off, and she wasn't even that attractive. I still managed. It was very dark. This morning I went to a meeting of my premature ejaculators support group, but it turns out it's tomorrow. I think a few of the men started clapping before the end of that joke, by the way. My girlfriend's dog died, so to cheer her up, I got her an identical one. She was livid. What am I going to do with 2 dead dogs? A friend of mine had a penis extension. Now his house looks really stupid.
And the topic is family.
Family. Okay. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. I told her she'll grow into it. I remember one time my uncle asked me to spell Schadenfreude and I couldn't, but he's dead now and I'm not, so I win. My cousin always introduces himself as Stephen with a PH, and that's because he's slightly acidic. My married friends would always tell me there's someone out there for everyone, and I'd think, wow, she must be a right slag. Knock, knock, who's there? Grandad, shit, stop the funeral. Grandad asked me how to print on his new computer. I said, just Control P. He said, I haven't been able to do that for years. My confirmed bachelor uncle always describes himself as asexual, but I'd also add B, gay. As a child, I was always told that if I touched myself down there, God was watching, but it turned out it was just Uncle Peter.
The topic is celebrity.
Celebrity. They've started a celebrity magazine for the elderly. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello. Uri Geller, surprisingly hard to stab. Malcolm X chose that name rather than admit he'd accidentally put a kiss at the end of a text message. I went to see Walt Disney on Ice. Bit disappointing, it's just an old bloke in a freezer. The new president of France said this week that English speakers were arrogant in their refusal to learn foreign languages. At least I think that's what he said. But it all just sounded like haw-hee-haw, haw-hee-haw. And remember, that's not racist if it's about the French. I'd have £5 on the Dalai Lama if I was a Tibetan man. When they buried the man who invented Tetris, the whole cemetery disappeared. As well as 7 years in prison here, Abu Hamza could be deported to the United States where he could face the electric chair. But on the plus side, if he is electrocuted, at least he can just stick his hook in the air and pretend to be a bumper car.
And relationships.
Sorry. That does actually look like me and my girlfriend. Apparently, in Norfolk, the marriage guidance service is called Related. My girlfriend says I'm not very romantic. The other day we were kissing on the sofa. She said, how about we take this into the bedroom? I said, OK, you get the other end. When she suggested we try playing doctors and nurses, I was really hoping for something sexier than being left in a corridor for 2 days. My girlfriend and I are trying for a baby. Her mom's agreed to help out, just till I get hard. I was going to see that on telly as well. That's terrible. They always say you'll find the love of your life when you're not really looking, which was true, but by then I'd run her over. I've been trying to persuade my girlfriend to sexually stimulate me with her keyring, but she just keeps fobbing me off. So... When I heard you could now be a sperm donor by post, I came in a jiffy. I went to a swingers club. The doorman goes, it's £15 to get in, or you can pay £20. That includes a meal. I paid £20. I went in. This oiled, naked guy comes up to me and goes, hello, my name's Emil. I once had a one-night stand and I didn't get an erection. That isn't cool. Luckily, the woman I was with was really understanding. She just said, don't worry, that used to happen to me. Thank you.
And the topic is education.
One time at school, I lost my thesaurus. I couldn't find the words to describe how upset I was. I remember sitting in psychology class, learning about Pavlov, thinking, no stupid dogs. And then the bell went and we all had lunch. I'm sitting at home, this guy knocks on my door. Have you ever considered an alternative energy supplier? I'm like, no, I'm quite happy with food. It's got to be a tough job going around door to door encouraging people to photosynthesize. I can give you the leading cause of anaphylactic shock in a nutshell. I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. My nan recently claimed that she once gave a hand job to Albert Einstein. What a stroke of genius. Technically, shoplifting from the Apple store only counts as scrumping. Sex education lessons at our school were pretty weird. The teacher made us shout out rude words to get out of our system, like bum, willy, cocks, and we had to carry on doing that until he came.
Topic is childhood.
As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. My 6-year-old refuses to eat anything other than alphabeti spaghetti. Luckily, he's dyslexic, so I just buy him normal spaghetti. Seems to work. Dad, these are all L's. Yeah, it's Welsh. I bought him some medicine for his ADHD. On the side of the bottle, it said concentrate. I thought if he could do that... I bought a really nice 12-year-old scotch. Obviously, his parents weren't pleased. I hate people who complain about breastfeeding in public. I don't want to see it, or that's disgusting, or you can't do that, you're not a woman. And that's not a baby. As kids, we always enjoyed dipping ginger nuts into a steaming hot cup of tea, but of course nowadays that's called bullying. I shouldn't do that, by the way. Ginger jokes are the last vestiges of racism in comedy, and they started a ginger pride movement to stamp that shit out. They had a march in Hyde Park. Well, they were going to when the sun came out. Nan always said that when she was young, she never had to worry about leaving her back door open. What a slag. I'm totally going to get in trouble with the family again. This is really not worth it. You got to look after your health as you get older. The other day I did a poo and noticed there was a little blood in it. I said, "Oi, bruv, get out my toilet, innit?"
Man, the subject is relationships.
Okay.
How are you?
I used to suffer from premature ejaculation, which made me feel selfish and bad for my girlfriend. Then she suggested I try this special cream that reduces your sensitivity. And it really worked, because now I don't give a shit about her. I bought a vegan friend of mine a fancy cookbook. Unfortunately, he said he couldn't accept it as it was leather-bound, which meant it was too heavy for him to lift. When I was a teenager, my mom always said, "Your bedroom's so messy, you'll never get any self-respecting girl to come back here." But luckily, they weren't the ones I was going after. I watched the director's cut of a porn film. At the end, he actually fixes the washing machine. I was in a sex shop. I saw a dildo described as 9 inches long and realistic. I thought, well, which is it? The Archbishop of Canterbury recently said he couldn't support gay marriage without first having a mandate. Honestly, if he's that bothered, I'll go out with him. One time at a party, I chucked my car keys into a big bowl, and everyone just stared at me, and the trifle was ruined. I was watching a really weird porno the other day that was just a fat man crying and wanking at the same time, and then I realised I hadn't turned the telly on. Thank you.
And the topic is shopping. Away you go.
I bought a slimming magazine in W.H. Smith's. I didn't read it, I just wanted a big bar of Galaxy for £1. I bought some fancy pens at a nudist art shop. Felt tips? No, but I touched a couple of bollocks. I was in a lingerie shop. I said, "Are these knickers satin?" He said, "No, they're new." I went to buy a Christmas tree. The guy said, "You're going to put it up yourself?" I said, "No, I was thinking the living room." Bought a chameleon, lost it. Why is it that when women go to the toilet in pairs, no one minds, but when I did it, I got thrown out the greengrocers? I got into a fight with my acupuncturist and stabbed him. He said he'd never felt better. According to the vet, my cat's in heat. I didn't even know she was famous. A friend of mine keeps going on and on about how good his orthopaedic shoe is, but I think he's built it up too much. I bought an advent calendar for Jehovah's Witnesses, but on every door somebody tells you to fuck off.
The topic is health.
The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, "How?" He said, "Don't eat anything fatty." I said, "What, pies, chips, that kind of thing?" He said, "No, just don't eat anything fatty." I was thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments during the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. Chair of Dyslexic Society was recently given an OBE. He said, "What's the point? I can't play the bloody thing." I live next door to a family of anorexic agoraphobics. Yeah, but they've got a few skeletons in the closet. A friend of mine's been suffering from paranoid delusions and now he thinks he's a chocolate orange. I worry he's going to be sectioned. Poor Terry. I thought PPI was just something you could get if you didn't wear goggles at the swimming baths. I bought an alcoholic ginger beer. He wasn't pleased. I once met a girl who confused a tube of KY jelly with super glue. I asked how it happened, but sadly her lips were sealed.
And subject is transport. Where you go, Gary?
I had a nightmare on the journey over here, and luckily that woke me up just before I ran over a small child. The other day I lost control at a roundabout, and then I went absolutely bonkers on the swings. I stopped in a lay-by, there was a sign saying no dumping. That was all right, I was just having a wee. I joined a breakdown service for Scousers. It's called the AA. Calm down, calm down. If they can't fix your car in an hour, they'll nick you a new one. The Paralympics taught us all that sometimes we should stop and put ourselves in the place of people with disabilities, and I have to say, those parking spaces are brilliant. In the car on the way over here, I kept hearing this annoying, whiny noise, so I pulled over, my girlfriend got out to have a look at the engine, and I drove off. The other night I saw a couple weaving all over the street. I said, honestly, get a loom. I accidentally filled the Escort with diesel. She died.
The topic is nationalities. Where you go?
My next-door neighbour's really loud and obnoxious, so now I know how Canada feels. I bought some lamb chops. On the packet it said reared in Wales. I thought that was just a racist stereotype. This morning I made a Belgian waffle. In the afternoon I made a Frenchman talk bollocks. In Scotland, the forbidden fruit is fruit. When England played Poland at Wembley, there was 30,000 Polish fans in the crowd. And I thought, well, fair play to them. If I'd built it, I'd want to have a look round as well. I like to annoy my Israeli flatmate by giving him any post that's just addressed to the occupier. I was at an Italian zoo with a Christian friend of mine, so I thought, when in Rome, and pushed him into the lions. Nan's going to that suicide clinic in Switzerland, but don't tell her, it's a surprise. My granddad was killed by a Zulu. He was having a shit at Whipsnade and the roof collapsed.
And the topic is childhood.
I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. And apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. They love that. Every Christmas day we'd always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call them, relatives sleeping in the spare room. Winnie the Pooh, possibly the most vindictive chapter in Nelson Mandela's autobiography. It was only after I shot the fifth zombie that I started to wonder why they were all carrying bags of sweets and ringing my doorbell. I've been trying to recapture my lost youth. I really must get that cellar door fixed. One time when I was a kid, I bought a chocolate bar. On the inside of the wrapper, it said, "You're a loser." I wouldn't mind if there'd been some sort of competition on. To make things worse, it was a boost. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have Nana buried or cremated, so in the end, we let her live. My 13-year-old cousin's already started taking heroin. It's amazing, isn't it? They shoot up so fast these days.
Okay, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. Now, I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those. My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no. If anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, what can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door. And the vet said, muzzle him. I said, I don't know, but he's got a beard. I went round to see my nan. I said, what you been up to? She said, weed in the garden. I said, well, at least you didn't shit in it. I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing. And my girlfriend said, do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her. Which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
Okay, the topic is work.
I nearly lost my job as a roofer when I was caught masturbating on the first day. Yeah, luckily, my boss said I could wipe the slate clean. I used to work at Waterstones. One day, a guy came in asking if we had any audiobooks with subtitles. I thought, hang on, that's a book. The circus near me held a competition to find the best contortionist, so I entered myself and won. In my old job, I just used to punch buttons all day, and that's why I'm no longer allowed to work in panto. I've got two lawyers working for me at the minute. One's pro bono, and the other thinks he's a right pretentious twat. When my granddad was caught trying to stow away in the Merchant Navy, he offered to work his passage, which, as you can imagine, made him very popular. I hate people who phone me up just to complain about the weather, which is why I lost my job at Mountain Rescue. I was at a station the other day that had a piano on the platform, so I had a little tinkle on it, which saved me 30 pence. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. I bought a Microsoft Advent calendar. If you open too many windows at once, they all shut again for no bloody reason.
The topic is technology. Okay, where you go?
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously, they don't know that yet. The hardest part of making skimmed milk must be throwing the cows across the lake. The guy next to me at work used to watch porn all day. I'm just glad he didn't begin to rub off on me. I think if I was to try revenge porn, I'd just post naked pictures of myself online so everybody would know how low my ex's standards were. When answering the security question, place of birth, apparently vagina is not an acceptable answer. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. I've currently got a stalker, but you probably can't tell in these trousers. A friend of mine was killed by the big sea. He was walking past Curry's and a sign fell on his head. I was watching TV and the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it.
And the topic is relationships.
The other day, a woman described me as a bit of a looker. Well, voyeur was the actual word that she used. I used to go out with a parachutist with IBS, but she shat on me from a great height. One time I nearly had a threesome with my girlfriend and my best friend, and the only thing that stopped it happening was they didn't invite me. My girlfriend said she wanted to try some new condoms with something special inside to boost her pleasure. I said, oh, what's that? She said, other men. Our fourth child was called Ivy, and that's because we ran out of names and started using Roman numerals. My last girlfriend was always trying to put me down, which is just one of the hazards of going out with a vet. I tried reading a book on premature ejaculation, but I couldn't get past the opening passage. This Christmas, I'm taking the whole family to Lapland, which is great, because normally those clubs don't let kids in. I always worry when a woman sees me naked for the first time that she's just going to scream and run out the park. My girlfriend and I love watching box sets. We got 3 episodes into Orange is the New Black before finding out it wasn't about what would happen if Trump replaced Obama.
And the topic is health. Gary.
The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. I like to judge my weight by my BMI. As long as I weigh less than a small plane, I think it's fine. When writing a story about losing your virginity, it's important to always put it in the first person. When people die and head towards the light, what they don't realise is they've already been reincarnated as a moth. I can count the number of chainsaw accidents I've had on the fingers of one hand. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. So the other day, I was doing the hoovering in my pants, and I thought to myself, how do my bollocks get this dusty? I've been attending Gamblers Anonymous for 3 years, whereas my best mate Dave, he only stuck it out for 2.5, so I won that one. I like to think I'm a bit like Superman. For example, the other day I changed in a phone box from a man who really needs a wee to a man who's just had a wee. I pulled a sickie the other day, just one of the perks of working at the hospital. The other day, my girlfriend and I had great make-up sex. Well, I say that, she was out and I stuck her lipstick up my arse. Because I'm worth it.
And the topic is animals.
I don't like to eat anything labelled reformed ham, as I think it's unfair that the pigs are slaughtered after they've got their lives back on track. Last night I had to get towed home because Ratty and Moley were too pissed. Whenever I see ginger people going grey, I'm always reminded of the sad plight of our native squirrels. I went round Grandad's to walk his dog. As I was leaving the house, he said, don't forget poo bags. I was like, all right, Gran. My girlfriend's a cat person. She's got fishy breath, shits in a tray and disappears for days at a time. I tried swimming with dolphins once, but I didn't like it as I found them very clicky. Dolphins who die without any money are given a pauper's funeral. So the other day I was chewing on some monkey nuts and now I'm banned from the zoo. Doctor, I'm addicted to screwing dogs. Have you tried patches? What's he, a poodle? I went to the zoo to watch the monkeys wanking. Then I went to watch the crocodiles, and I was still wanking.
Thank you very much, Gary Delaney. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is life stages. Who wants to come in on that? Alice.
I've got a very young kid, and one of the things I noticed about fatherhood is that it's turning me into a dad, right? I've started doing this thing that when I'm excited, I've only ever seen usually Welsh, usually very working class dads do when they're excited, and I call it the clap and rub. OK, so if my mum, for instance, said, oh, I can't be bothered to cook tonight, why don't we have fish and chips? My dad, because he'll excited, will go, fish and chips? Fish and chips? And I have started doing that now, but when I'm doing it, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why am I clapping and rubbing my hands? But it's an amazing thing, the clap and rub, because it's so versatile. You can use it to display excitement about anything. So you're like, oh, I'm going out for a drink with my friend Dennis. Oh, the inquiry found me not guilty. Another thing with having a baby is I think it brought on a midlife crisis. One of the first things I did when she was born was I joined a boxing club, like a proper spit and sawdust South London boxing club. I don't want anyone to be frightened at home because I'm not hard bloke, because at my level, boxing is almost exclusively skipping. I am absolutely incredible at skipping now, but I don't know how this is going to help me in a one-on-one combat situation. I'm so be walking down to Marley away late at night, and a bloke will be like, "Oi, give me your phone and your wallet." I'll be like, "What, are you mugging me?" "Yeah, I'm mugging you." "Yeah, you mugging me?" "Yeah, I'm mugging you." "Yeah, yeah, yeah." "Well, try it."
Thank you very much, Alice. Let's spin the wheel for our first topic. And the topic is exercise.
We all know we need to do more exercise. I mean, we've now got the fattest kids in Europe. I'm not going to make fun out of obese children. I've learnt not to do that. They will come down on you like a ton of bricks. I didn't like exercising as a kid. When I was a kid, I was made to go swimming in a pool that had a Veruca pool before you got into it. The Veruca pool. Do you remember the Veruca pool? They actually called it the Veruca pool. You can't encourage children to walk in something that's called a Veruca pool. It's like offering somebody the use of your chlamydia flannel, isn't it? I mean, I try and exercise a bit more now. I've started doing yoga because apparently it increases your flexibility and spirituality. And I've got to be honest, it's pretty good. I'm now so good at the downward-facing dog, I have on occasion caught glimpses of my own third eye. I did a half marathon though a few months ago, which was pretty good. You know, don't be overly impressed, which you're clearly not. But I only finished yesterday, so there's clearly a lot of work to be done. And I did the run for charity, and I know a lot of people are doing things for charity. You can't just exercise now, can you? You've got to do it for a good cause. And I get a lot of those emails. I know we all do. You know, will you sponsor me? Will you sponsor me? I'm like, what are you doing? I'm flip-flopping up Kilimanjaro for diarrhoea. Going across the Arctic for trapped wind. Are you? Don't do that. I mean, the last London Marathon, it cost me an absolute fortune because I sponsored loads of friends, right? I gave one friend 20 quid because he was doing it for cancer research, another friend 20 quid because he was doing it for heart disease, another one 20 quid because he was doing it for diabetes. In the end, it was actually cheaper for me to join Bupa.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is work.
I didn't think I'd get a loan from the bank for my knitting business, but when I turned up actually wearing one of the balaclavas... I used to be a weatherman. In fact, does anyone want to buy a broken barometer? No pressure. If there'd been a mix-up, my uncle could have ended up as the next president of the United States. He's an undertaker in the army, or Barack Obama. Soldiers, of course, very emotionally repressed. Sometimes you see one of them go into the middle of a parade ground and shout, "Attention!" What he needs is a hug. Well, that's what I thought. My dad, he was a soldier, so, of course, as a family, we were always moving around a lot, because he used to use us for target practice. 6 hours I had to wait in the other day for the electrician until he opened the cupboard under the stairs and I was able to leap out at him. I remember when I was a policeman, I was asked to seal off an area and I went, "Arr!" That's all right, thank you.
Well done. Points there for Mr. Jones. Come on back.
This is the news that after just 12 days, the Tory party leadership race is over. Andrea Leadsom dramatically withdrew, paving the way for Theresa May to become Prime Minister. Did you follow the dramatic leadership race?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's exciting, wasn't it? It was strange. This candidate appeared from nowhere, from almost nowhere, and has disappeared again almost as quickly. But history will long recall the name Angela Lansbury. There she is there. Writing some murder like she does before she runs for things. Why was Angela Lansbury such a controversial figure, though?
Because she was actually Grayson Perry.
She thought she would be a better Prime Minister than Theresa May because she had children. And effectively, that only people with children would care about the future of the world. And that people who didn't have children, like Jesus, for example, would be thinking, as soon as I'm gone, that's it. I don't care.
As a childless woman, I would like to say that I think she actually has a point, because I couldn't give a shit, mate. As a childless woman, I just wake up at like 11 a.m, I just do some fracking. Then I go for some like a long lunch, have a bottle of wine. Do I recycle it? Do I heck? And then just sort of go home and try and devalue the pound. And then repeat, that's it.
Do we know that she definitely has children, or is it just another lie?
Is it a British thing for people to just come out of their front step to tell you things and then leave?
Often. It's not even her house. It's not even her house. She was burgling that house. And then the police interrupted and she decided that was probably a point to drop out of the race. By the way, welcome to the country. And how are you finding it over here?
Nobody told me that you guys have foxes just running the streets. I didn't know. I saw a fox for the first time and I was alarmed. And everyone was casual about it, and because I was like, that is not a dog. I said, I'm from Africa. You guys assume we have animals walking around. I haven't seen a fox in 10 years, and the last time I saw a fox, it was at a zoo. And also, you lied and you said it was summer.
Welcome, my friend. Welcome. I was intrigued by the fact that Theresa May ran a campaign, a successful campaign to become Prime Minister by doing and saying nothing for about 6 weeks and just watching everyone else die. It was like the one that we've learned is how Theresa May plays Call of Duty, which is online. Theresa just finds a place to hide, holds up with the shotgun, lets the killing commence, pops out lurking, pam, 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 gone, back in again.
My big worry with Theresa May is that she might smile and it'll be winter forever.
But the crazy thing about Theresa May is obviously that hardly anyone has voted for her. Like, I think it's 165 MPs have got her into power. Yeah. I think there are more members of the So Solid crew than have voted her into power.
You weren't elected, were you, to this position,
I
Darren?
wasn't. I stole it in a bloody coup. And would do it again, my friend. People have disappeared from the show, Miles, and would again for raising those exact kind of questions.
Well, I'm just saying.
Where's Frankie now? Where's Russell now? Gone.
You will be dragged through the streets, Darren. You will be dragged through the streets like Gaddafi.
There are 5.
Then they'll be laughing.
Oh, there are 5 regulars on the show. How many regulars now? Just poor weak Hugh. 6. Poor weak Hugh, who I own. Hugh will always give the correct answer when I ask him to, won't you, Hugh? Won't you, Hugh?
Your shoes are almost polished.
Thank you, Hugh. There you go. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Zoe, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, your category is politics. The answer is 50%. What is the question?
What is the name of 50 Cent's mathematician brother?
Is it what does Heather Mills save on IMAC?
What is the most you'll have to pay for a sofa at DFS?
What is a bad answer to the phrase, how much do you love me?
Is it the percentage of Ant and Dec that is forehead?
Is it you're a 19-year-old Glaswegian male, how much of your life is left?
Is it if I entered an orgy covered in Marmite, what would be my success rate? But to be honest,
I always find that when people say, oh, I'm a Marmite kind of person, people either love me or hate me. They're always people that everybody hates.
Is it how much of Silvio Berlusconi is made of oil?
Is it what percentage of the population, rather than a TV debate, would like to see Cameron and Brown have a cage fight?
I would love to see that.
So would I.
Yeah. Who would win that?
I would imagine Brown.
Yeah,
Brown. He's got moves.
He's also got that dislocatable jaw.
Yeah, he can actually swallow your whole.
He could swallow you.
He can actually take your jaw down.
Imagine that. Wouldn't that be incredible? If Cameron ran towards you.
Cameron's legs flapping.
Is it what was the proportion of cats that died during the making of my ill-fated television pilot, Cat versus Bleach?
It would be 100%, surely.
Do we have an answer that we can do?
I think it's what percentage of the top jobs in the Labour Party does Harriet Harman think should be filled by women?
You're absolutely right. Very good. Well done, Hugh. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was, according to Harriet Harman, what proportion of the top 2 posts in the Labour Party should be allocated to Harriet Harman? Or more generally, women. This is the news. The Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Harriet Harman, said that either her post or the job of leader should always be occupied by a woman because, in her words, men cannot be left to run things on their own. Her actual words.
Listen
right?
to that applause. Did you hear that? Bingo wings in the corner.
I mean, you know, there is something about representation of women at the high levels of government, but that actual quote does make it seem like every time she left the room, it would turn into a chimp's tea party. And she'd come back in, they go, oh, sorry.
It's true, though, isn't it, that women are underrepresented in the top echelons of politics, aren't they? In Italy, for example, there are lots of women in the top jobs. You can be... Berlusconi will put you in the cabinet in Italy at the age of 19 if you're good enough. So you can see where she's coming from.
Harriet Harman's an incredible figure, isn't she? You know that Harriet Harman, when she first came to my attention, she wrote a book about the history of feminism, which she dedicated to her husband. She's mistaking sexism with people hating her.
She's always saying stupid things, isn't she? She said she is Radio 2 to Gordon Brown's Radio 4. And you're thinking, well, she's not Radio 2. Radio 2 is the most popular radio station in this country. If she's anything, she's Isle of Wight FM on a Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in January when the transmission mast is broken.
Some we're watching there is the guy who does the 3 o'clock in the morning slot. Why am I
Why the shorthand for crap?
Wouldn't it be great if he looks exactly like Harriet Harman as well? This is...
I don't know. Female politicians always have an element of freakishness, don't they? She's a bit of a freak. Hazel Blears looks like Gianfranco Zola humped an Oompa Loompa. And Margaret Beckett looks like a face trapped in a haunted mirror.
What do you want for Christmas this year?
I don't know. I don't want anything for Christmas.
Hand job off an elf.
The number one gift apparently for kids this year?
Nerf guns.
The Nerf
The
gun.
Nerf gun is
Nerf gun.
64 quid. You could go to America and buy a gun for less than that.
Actually, it's like it's a ludicrously scary thing, the Nerf gun. This is the current...
Hey, don't point that there. Hey, point that over somewhere else.
I promise I'll do really, really careful. I wouldn't dream of doing that to you. Of all the people here, you were the last person that I would fire the boom. Hang on. Oh, yeah, there's three things you can do, right? You can do this big one here.
Whoa.
Right.
Listen, Nerf is how I did this to my eyes. So I'm just saying. I'm just warning you.
Okay, cool. I'll get him instead. Right, okay, Grant. Are we okay to sacrifice you for this? And then you can do these.
I guess so.
I bet you could catch one in
fairly
your
certain
teeth.
there's an instruction manual that says do not aim at people's faces.
Yeah,
Please remember that I am a special man with special powers and do not try this at home.
How far will it get? How far do you think it'll get?
I don't know, but if he hits any of you, sue the shit out of you. All the money they're saving on Bake Off now can go to you.
Can you get to the back? I mean, because this is... I feel it can be unnecessarily powerful, this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's decide
Yes,
the back.
I certainly feel that.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, nah. Good catch. Well done. Respect. That is, I'm estimating 7 gardens away.
So you asked, what do you want for Christmas? So you could then shoot us.
Why would you want to be given clothes as a Christmas present in Iceland?
Because it's really cold.
It's cold.
It's freezing there.
It's a land of ice, Dara!
Is it because you can take them back and get the money back in exchange for the clothes?
No, it's not that perfectly
That's a really
practical
good
good
idea.
reason to get clothes.
Because clothes is just a good present wherever you are.
Oh, God, yes, I know. OK, the question...
Because people don't have
I'm sorry,
clothes.
are you getting exasperated at us trying to think of humorous answers to ridiculous questions that you're posing? Should we just try our hardest to come up with the correct answer? Would that slightly miss the point of a comedy quiz?
Is it because normally they sell frozen food?
The reason you should be given clothes as a Christmas present is to stop you getting eaten by the Yule cat. Yule Kuterin.
Tell you what, I wonder why you didn't get the QI presented. There's got to be one show you don't present, hasn't
There
there?
has to be, yeah. What might you expect to eat at Christmas in Japan?
Food.
Yes.
Sushi.
No.
Sashimi.
No. Don't just name all Japanese things you can think of.
Wagamamas.
Not... A bucket of...
Eels.
No.
Turkey.
That's not a clue.
It's a really good clue. A bucket
Fried chicken.
Of fried chicken.
Is it fried chicken?
It's fried chicken, Nish. Not just any fried chicken.
Kentucky Fried
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Since 1974, KFC has marketed itself in Japan as a Christmas food.
Oh, very clever.
With the advertising phrase, Kentucky for Christmas. That's... Look.
I beg your pardon. Say that again.
Kentucky for Christmas. News of the King of Pop, the news of the King... You have heard this, I presume, somewhere. This is the news of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, is dead. The 50-year-old star died suddenly following a cardiac arrest and was just weeks away from his This Is It tour in London. His death has left millions of fans in mourning. One devastated fan said, "I was at Disneyland when I heard he died. I didn't want to believe it. It was only when Mickey Mouse confirmed it to me that I accepted it."
You know how in the future everyone will say, oh, do you remember where you were when Michael Jackson died? Almost everybody will be able to answer, I was texting a joke about Michael Jackson. Even the doctor that was announcing that he died had a look across his face like, I've got one. He touched millions of fans. People are going to love this.
There was a bloke on the radio, I was listening on 5 Live or something, he said, brilliant, he said, I'm really glad that he didn't do those 50 nights at the O2 because I think they would have killed him.
People reacted to his death very differently, didn't they? I mean, like Jermaine Jackson was on the news saying that he wished that he'd died instead. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And I reacted differently. I wished that he'd died as well.
There are, now that he's dead, 13 singles in the top 40. So the Spice Girls, they know what they've got to do, don't they?
When they found him, they said that he was face down on the floor next to the bed, and they didn't call an ambulance for 50 minutes because they just thought he was looking for the other glove.
It can't have been easy, though, for them to actually work out he was ill, can it? Because let's face it, he's been looking pale for 20 years.
Yeah, but come on. I genuinely think the symptoms of a massive cardiac arrest are more than you're looking a bit pale there.
We seem to forget. We're forgetting, though, that the guy was a genius. Like, he wrote some of the best records of our generation. Thriller is still the best-selling album of all time.
I think you'll find Glenn Miller wrote some of the best records of my generation.
Okay, of my generation. But, no, the guy was a genius. I mean, what black man can produce 3 white kids? It's amazing. Frankie's got a better chance of being their dad than Michael.
Wow.
You're right, though, Jim.
If that is the case, they're in real trouble.
Yeah.
A choice between Michael and Frankie.
Sorry, kids, a bit of a change of location for you. You're going to live with Uncle Frankie now.
What, after staying with Michael Jackson? It's all got to be up from there, hasn't it? Do you know the weirdest thing about Michael Jackson? I didn't even know this. He was a Jehovah's Witness. That's like the least weird thing about him. I bet when he went to the Jehovah's Witness meetings, they pretended not to be in. Michael, turn the telly down.
Although he did look like someone who wouldn't have a blood transfusion, didn't he?
I think people generally, because they loved his music so much, they were willing to forgive him what he got up to in his private life. So there's a lesson in there, isn't there? For Gary Glitter, write better songs.
But the memorial had a huge number of stars. You know, Stevie Wonder, Mariah Carey, Lionel Richie. Oh, yeah, and the kid from Britain's Got Talent. I love it.
Hey, they gave Stevie Wonder a seat in the front row.
Wait, you got to wait 10 minutes for him to walk all the way from the back of the theatre. Next up, Stevie Wonder. Come on, Stevie, we haven't all day here, right? Stevie's like, I'll be with you in a minute. Weaving his way, like in the middle of the row. Sorry, I'm on now.
You know that they said they'd had thousands of volunteers to be pallbearers at Michael Jackson's funeral. I bet they did. Where were they when Barry White died?
One of the best stories about this, I don't know if you read this, was that Bubbles has been banned from the funeral because he's too violent. That's a fantastic story, isn't it? But surely Michael Jackson's dad's going, who beat him up for 20 years, and yet a monkey who likes to throw his poo around a bit much. But they didn't even tell him because they didn't want to upset him. He's a monkey! As if he sat there going, no.
You see,
Banana! Num, num, num. When did we start telling pets? Somebody must have made the decision, like, Michael's dead, somebody better tell the tigers. Do you reckon they'll do that with David Blunkett? If he pegs it, someone better tell his dog. He's gone, David. No!
I think the dog will sense the dead weight on the lead. Yeah. I think he should have left Bubbles to Diana Ross. Because it's great. He left the 3 kids to Diana Ross and she didn't know. They're going to turn up and she's going to go, what is it, trick or treat? No, we always wear these. Right?
He's left his kids to Diana
She
Ross.
doesn't know. It's like we should all do it. Let's all put that in our. Like it's be like Rick rolling.
It would be great though if we did leave everything to Diana Ross. If everyone in the world got together, just leaving anything, you know, like a bugle or a flute, just so that she'd be sat there going, "This is ridiculous. I feel like I'm in the middle of a chain reaction."
Do you think? Do you think for? Do you think for parenting, if they're misbehaving, you just go, stop, in the name of love?
When I was actually, seriously, when I was like, I suppose when I was about 8 or 9, I was a massive Michael Jackson fan, and I wish I'd known at the time that I was his type. You know the conspiracy theory at the minute? There's a conspiracy theory already that Michael Jackson faked his own death. If he faked his death, where could he go in the world that he would blend in? Does Cornwall even have a police force?
Isn't it odd that Michael Jackson's dancing deteriorated as he got whiter and whiter?
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics it is. The answer is 10 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many hours of community service will Justin Lee Collins have to do before a girl agrees to date him again? Is it how many undeserved chances will Rihanna give Chris Brown?
This is the news that at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week, Chancellor George Osborne announced that in its drive to reduce the deficit, the government will cut a further £10 billion in the welfare budget by 2017. Where's that going to come from?
Well, just checking, they're not cutting friends with benefits, right?
Still fine. That's still grand. Up to the age of 25. Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after apparently he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see him.
Well, a hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us see. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You know, you're gonna love this guy. That... The hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Boris arriving on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? Well, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a cracking A&E.
It's the beginning of Casualty. Wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that.
Is it earth, wind, and douchebag? Well, David Blaine, he used to be an illusionist, and now he's an endurance performer, which just sounds like homeless to me. David Blaine's biggest magic trick is staying relevant.
And it's nationality. Who wants to give me that?
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk. They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness? And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge. If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Cathy Ryan.
Is it Harvest Festival attracts troublemaker?
No, it's holy F, a Teletubby. Looking at the whole picture, is it the London Underground where sexy singles meet?
He said that he's never going to talk to anyone on the tube again. I want to be there when a tourist comes up to him and goes, is this Marble Arch? And he has to go...
Well, it's the only way they'll learn. We'll have to go through that. Hello, Londoner. I'm just out from Ireland. I was wondering what train I should... Oh, you're going? OK, I'll try another one.
I would talk to you, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah.
I would take you to your destination and carry your bags.
Thank you very much. But you are a foreigner. I've been here too long and now I shun you as well. Hello.
All right. I'll pretend I'm on a tube. Ask me a question.
Hello, sir. I was wondering if you knew this is the perfect place to change for the Jubilee line.
Excuse me, I was wondering if this is the right place for... I want to get to Buckingham Palace.
It's shameful. This man is a pioneer, the first man ever to speak on the tube. And your people, instead of lifting him up, you punish him by making him coach your football team.
Some scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, the first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a Bond movie.
Hey, it's me, Pussy. Pussy no more? Yeah, I'm post-op now. It's going real good.
Unlikely things to hear at a party conference.
Let's get drunk and join the Euro. Here in support of Testicular Cancer Awareness Week, it's Shadow Chancellor Ed Ball. Or, still as cool as ever, it's Entourage, the movie.
In the interim, she had taught the parrot to slag him off.
You can do that with real-life kids. This is an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. And I think we forget sometimes who the real victims are. And it's people like me who see the word FIFA. I know that word means football. There's a secret history that you guys know all about. I have no idea what's going on. I thought they got arrested because all their migrant workers were dying all over the place. That's apparently not the problem.
Also in the news this week, who can tell me what's going on here?
Is that Barack Obama playing pretzel buckaroo?
Or is Barack shaking the hand of the very pretzel that choked George W. Bush? He's having a nice time. No breakfast is ever made better by Stephen Harper or David Cameron showing up to it. It's not like he's waiting to start the party when Cameron gets there. Boy, aye.
From the other side, they all turn and Cameron's like, hey! Here it comes. The answer is 5, but what is the question?
Is it, how many basic bitches does it take to escort Kate Moss off an EasyJet flight?
Is that a thing? Is that like a...
I'm a pretty basic bitch.
I think you're an ornate bitch, right?
So you think I'm a ratchet-ass hoe?
Well, I didn't want to make it too obvious, so I've got a little soft spot for you.
Is it how many names are currently written on Taylor Swift's blank space?
Is it as a...
I know it's a song. I know Taylor Swift.
You know Taylor
Taylor's
Swift?
gonna hate,
You know
hate,
Taylor
hate.
Swift.
Is this what we do? If
Check
ever
it
we
out.
mention any band and you're going to do an impression?
No, that's not what's going to happen here.
Is
right?
it Kate Bush?
Commercials that never made it to air.
FIFA summer sofa sale. Total office clear out. Bribe now, pay later. Why pay more for ratchet, trifling-ass pilots when you can get to where you're going on EasyJet? A basic bitch will get you there.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up, you can tie your shoes. Reem. The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
We throw it around called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask me to tell me what's happening. So here's a picture of the 4 Labour leadership hopefuls. What's going on here?
Is it AshleyMadison.com relaunches with hip new image? Is it a charity appeal? Like, for £3 a month, you could buy these deluded fools fresh water and false hope. They're calling it Corbyn mania, but you can't just put mania at the end of a word and think that it means something. Like Beatlemania, that was when they played to 55,000 people in Shea Stadium. Corbyn mania is 1,100 bored pensioners in Norfolk.
Congratulations to the Germans, but I'm going to say it. Historically, I've never forgiven them. No. Do you remember Frank Lampard's goal in the 2010 World Cup? That was way over the line. What? No way is this outweigh that.
You mean 800,000...
No wonder they're trying to be the good guys of Europe.
You think this whole... taking in 800,000 refugees...
It would have made it 2 all, Dara.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, Josh. The Germany's getting World Cup points for each Syrian that they let in. I've already got a $5 on a German Syrian to win Eurovision. I just like the narrative.
There is an element to which, like, Germany won the World Cup and the team was partly Turkish as well. Like, whatever. This thing does work in sport. Mo Farah, anyone? You know? Because, you know, there is another, you know, migrant came over here. Like, they will boast your sporting chances, lads.
Mo Farah is a Somalian who acquires gold on land. Nothing I don't like about him.
On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
Home news it is. The answer is 63 years. What is the question?
Is it how long before the Lib Dems can legitimately book a conference room again?
What unusual present might people be giving this Christmas?
I think it's actually sperm.
It is
isn't
sperm. Yes, it is sperm. Yeah.
But
It's
this
not an unusual gift. Horrific return policy. Not interested.
You said 14 days.
Oh, you've lowered the tone, Dara.
How have I ruined it? How have I ruined it? Unlikely things to hear on breakfast TV.
The world of show business has suffered another tragic loss. But don't worry, it's one of the ones you already thought was dead. If you hear a knock at your door, you could be the winner of £20,000. 2 knocks and it's a police raid. Hide the guns.
The next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead. Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Ramashu and Miles! Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry, you're dead. What can you do?
Sorry you're leaving, and sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
That was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it. The Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming!
You've passed away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello,
My name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know. I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
Okay, well done, dinner and points go to Romesh, you and Miles. In other news, who has David Cameron had to apologise to in the last week?
Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he told, I think it was the ex-mayor of New York, wasn't it? And it was overheard by a journalist. He said that when the Queen heard the Scottish referendum result, she purred. Which apparently she does.
purred.
Yeah. What he didn't say is that when she doesn't like something, she goes, bah!
Did she purr, or is that not just the sound that a phone makes when you hang up on somebody?
But I do like the idea of the Queen purring. I think that would make a fantastic Christmas message, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, the
She's sat there on the little armchair. She's got a little saucer of milk, a little scratching post on the other side. Just going, oh.
Would the Duke of Edinburgh be scratching her behind the neck? Is that what happened? Oh, sorry, I touched you.
Hello, you two. Hello.
Everyone saw that, right?
What's under the desk? Get up and show us what's under the desk.
Sarah, quickly, hover. Hover out of here right now.
I tell you what, that is the furthest I've ever been with a girl.
I mean, I get on one level, yes, she's like a cat. We feed her, and she treats us with a fair amount of contempt.
I'm disappointed that in the most candid revelation of what she's like on the phone, it was just a bit of a purr. That he didn't say, and I told her, it's okay, Scotland have decided to stay, and she said, oh, get in, you fucking beauty.
Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely film trailers.
Referendum 2. We'll keep doing it until we get the result we like.
From the director of Batman vs Superman, a heartfelt letter of apology for wasting our time.
Tantric Sex, the movie, not coming soon.
The new all-female Ghostbusters. The CGI looks amazing because we saved 30% on actors' wages.
Sepp Blatter and Donald Trump star in Despicable Me Too.
Thanks to an unfortunate typo, it's the most one-sided action film ever. Allen versus Predator.
Just when you thought the service couldn't be any more appalling, Southern Rail present Snakes on a Train.
The Avengers go to prison. They should have asked the age of Ultron.
The greatest trick the devil ever played was charging £9 for Fanta and popcorn. It's a fucking lot, isn't it?
In his most important role to date, Danny Dyer is Emmeline Pankhurst. Me and the rest of these tots is pissed off!
The sequel you hoped they would never make. The Martian 2. 101 dull Martians.
One man stands alone. It's Labour, the film.
It's the autoerotic asphyxiation thriller, Die Hard.
50 Shades of Grey, the heartwarming story of a vajazzler in an old folks' home.
In a land where nothing costs more than a pound. It's Poundland.
Referendum 4. Now Ant wants to leave deck.
Michael Gove is David Cameron's best buddy in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Mate.
Harrison Ford is 73 and he's back in Indiana Jones and the Tricky Patch of Ice outside the post office.
In a world where they only sell PCs. It's PC world.
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
Is it the 3 middle names of Princess Charlotte?
Is it what 3 things might a Greek keep in a chicken?
Is it what do gangsters play instead of rock, paper, scissors?
Is it what 3 things are keeping Keith Richards alive?
Is it what in the sound of music are the Von Trapp's family's real favourite things?
What are the 3 characters called on a packet of Colombian Rice Krispies?
Is it what 3 things are we being paid in this evening?
All together in one big bucket.
Yeah.
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup?
Is it complete the song? Hugh Pew, Barney McGrew.
That's scanned. That probably scans very, very well.
A much better song, wouldn't it?
It would have been very good.
What are the 3 main aisles in a Bolivian Waitrose?
Does anyone know the correct answer?
You know that tattoo you got that you think says peace, love and harmony? Is it to do with Greece?
It is to do with Greece.
Is it what 3 things are they worn in Greece are about to run out of?
Ah, very good. Thank you very much, Ed Burr. That's excellent. Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms. This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the Omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Grexit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a 3rd syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
I don't get this thing that you can... I didn't know that you could reject banks' demands. If I'd known that, my whole life would have been different. If I'd been able to go to the bank and go, well, I do owe you 10 grand, but I really like my lifestyle.
It could be, but it could be a mis-selling scandal, doesn't it? Because as far as I'm aware, Greece was never made to sign that box that said your home is at risk if you do not keep up the repayments.
You think they're waiting for the PPI?
I think
the
they'll
400 quid of PPI. Yeah. That's the one thing that will bail them out of this time.
Apparently, the Greek government have admitted that living in their past is their Achilles heel.
No one was expecting that reaction.
No. Oxy, they went. Oxy to that. I think it's definitely a case that if they want to get bailed themselves out, like whatever, they really just have to invoke copyright law on all the stuff they invented some time ago now, right? But that they definitely invented, like democracy, triangles and gays. And if they...
Philosophy as well. The birthplace of philosophy, isn't it?
Or was it?
Yes. Or you
Who
know,
knows?
well...
Why do you think that there is a professional philosopher at home going, that's not what philosophy is? It's not just going, or is it?
I think there's a lot of opportunities in Greece, actually. I'm going to start a band called Cash Machine, because people will be queuing around the block. But we've been told if we go on holiday to Greece that we should take lots and lots of money with us.
Yes.
To rub it in?
I think it's to pay your kidnappers.
I think there's a ploy behind telling tourists to bring as much cash with them as they possibly can, because they know there'll be a load of overweight, old British tourists there with massive bum bags of cash round the front. They're basically just sitting human ATM machines. That's all they are.
Do muggers line up behind the tourists? Was one of them goes, no, €60 each.
Yeah.
There is a limit for mugging these people. That's it. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Do you know that thing when a dog's eaten a bee?
Is David Cameron going, 6 pages? Is this really the complete list of taxpayers in Greece?
Is it David Cameron can almost smell the shit coming off the Tory manifesto? I only got a bit political, didn't I?
Is he looking at the tea menu and he's saying, I'll have the millionaire's shortbread, or as I call it, shortbread?
Is it Cameron upset to see no Dizzy Rascal on the karaoke songbook?
He does a very good bonkers, actually. He does a very good bonkers.
Is it Cameron orders eat and mess for dessert and for the country?
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, has Rob Beckett had a head transplant?
I've got a tiny dick now, but I love politics.
Have you got a third joke that you're going to do about... Go on.
Cameron preparing to sell NHS at auction. It's fun doing politics, isn't it? What a time to be alive.
Is that Cameron checking the TV listings going, Rob Beckett's on Mock the Week, that's the end of me then?
His hard-hitting caustic satire is finishing me. He's mocking me on that week.
If the joke's not good enough, just put your hand up in the air.
Am I right, brothers? Am I right? Yeah. My dad's in the bath and I got some politics. Let's go!
Is it Cameron reading a note that just says, David, this is the only way I could speak to you. I haven't heard from you since May the 7th. Call me, Nick, XOXO.
Or is he in fact just going, all right, it says here, Nick Clegg is in fact doing the Sheffield Panto at Christmas. That's what it says here.
He's bounced back.
This, I think, is Cameron at the G7, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yes. It's Cameron at the G7. Why is he having these high-level meetings?
He's trying to kind of get them to make some changes to the EU to convince... Because we're doing this whole EU vote. I think the EU is misbranded. No one would want to leave if they called it the League of Legends. If they said, do you want to leave the League of Legends? I go, no, mate, I'm the chairman.
We've got to vote again already. I'm going to start feeling like...
It's in 2 years' time.
Oh, I'm going to start feeling like a pedo waiting around school halls 8 in the morning. It's embarrassing.
You don't have to wait around for 2 years. In fact, I strongly
I'm really
advise
into
not
politics
to spend-
now. I want to think about it.
What does he ask?
He wants major concessions, mainly on free movement of people, on immigration, doesn't he?
Yes, but that is essentially the whole point of it, is that you can't, and you can't deny benefits to people because you got to treat them as your own citizens, right? So how is he going to stop European immigrants coming into the country?
Dara, you've been claiming off us for 10 years, mate.
All right, don't cheer that. Yeah, finally somebody has a nerve to say it. Mr. Giant Head Posh Leg.
It'd be brilliant now if UKIP made you a campaign issue.
Stop this man for too long. Is human. Got a big picture of me. So, big picture of me going like that. This man, bam, bam, bam. Picture of me. Just grabbing all your cash.
He's visiting.
Tura, lura, lura.
30 years ago, it was all Warsaw Pact, but now it's empty.
If we leave Europe, we'll have to pay more for Kinder eggs. Because they're going up as it is.
Yeah, I know.
Like 70p.
You know, if we leave Europe, we'll get the Kinder Egg and we'll open up and there'll be no toy.
Oh, my God. I
did not expect that to have quite the effect it had, right? Wow, somebody just cancelled Christmas for the
Well, what we could do is deliver France an ultimatum saying that if we don't get our way, we'll call Greg's a patisserie.
What's the next topic? Topic is drugs. And Andy's in.
Now, it seems only 27 people in Britain died from taking ecstasy last year, right? 50 people died from swallowing a bee. 72 people died attempting DIY in their own home. So how come we haven't also got campaigns, bees, don't swallow them, and shelves, just say no.
Andy Parsons. Let's see what Frankie has left. Topic is celebrity.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an insight into this because I've got to that stage in Scotland where people recognise me but they don't know where from. So last week I got followed by two guys who thought that I was the wee bear from Bo Selector. Apparently, Catherine Zeta-Jones lives in LA, but she has bottles of air imported from Wales. When I want my house to smell like Wales, I just kick my dog until it farts. Pete Doherty, right? Does anyone else think that Pete Doherty is quite fat for a heroin addict? What's he been cutting his heroin with? The hollandaise sauce.
Thank you, Royal.
Here's a picture of Tony Blair and Home Secretary Charles Clarke. So what does BWCB stand for?
Blair worships Crazy Bush.
I know she's not actually in the picture, but is it Blair wants Kaplan beheaded?
It's more of a dance thing going. I think it's Blair wins cha-cha battle.
Or Blair waves credibility goodbye.
Or
They clapped, even though goodbye begins with a G.
Is Charles Clark in the background there, or is he just a tiny wee man who lives underneath Blair's armpit? Pops out every so often to talk about ID cards.
Or is it Britain wants Calais back? I think it's a reasonable demand. If we talk, if the CAP's on the table and the rebates on the table, let's put Calais on the table as well.
What do you mean Calais back? When did you have Calais?
We had Calais.
Agincourt, have you forgotten?
We had Calais right up until quite a long time ago.
Calais fell during the reign of Queen Mary I, and she said she died, she had Calais written across her heart.
It was ours. What have you ever owned?
Well, we had some stuff, then you came along and took it. And now we're slowly trying to get it back off you. So I don't advise doing this for France either. Yeah. So you had Calais for a while, and you think now this is the right time in which to redemand the return of Calais.
That's why the Channel Tunnel comes up there, really. It's for troop movement. It's to get...
The sudden march on Europe by the panel is quite scary, isn't it?
Now we play a round called Mock the 9 o'clock news. This game involves Zoe, Stuart, Andy and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is finance. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
British Airways, their answer to the credit crunch, they've asked their employees, can you come into work for nothing for a month or take a month off unpaid? There's a tricky choice, isn't there? And who is going to want to fly British Airways? The last thing you want to hear when you get on the plane, this is your captain speaking. I'm not being paid today. Good luck. I am looking forward to seeing the credit crunch version of Monopoly. You know, instead of getting £1,500 from the bank, you have to lend the bank £1,500. And then everybody keeps on going round the board with nobody buying any property whatsoever because they always think it's going to be cheaper next time they go around.
Well done, Andy. Okay, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is Sarah Palin. Who wants to talk about that?
Ah, Sarah Palin. She was apparently an ex-beauty queen of a town in Alaska called Wasilla. And the press were very keen on this. They kept saying, you know, the beauty queen Sarah Palin, the ex-beauty queen, the beauty queen Sarah Palin. Let me tell you something, people. Wasilla is a very, very small town. Population 8, possibly 9,000 people at the best of times. To call it a one-horse town is to over-exaggerate the number of horses in that town by one. They timeshare a horse with another shithole down the road. Now, my brother used to live in Anchorage, Alaska, and I have been to Wasilla, and in the 5 minutes it took us to drive across Wasilla, I was voted beauty queen of Wasilla. It was no big deal, honestly. An otter and a caribou came second and third, respect.
Thank you very much, Zoe. That leaves us with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You see that, mate? This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. When you draw the curtains, we've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm not alone!
Okay, Stuart, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Zoe and Stuart. Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is parenting. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Getting quick. You may have seen that there was a woman gave birth recently who was 72 years old. That's not right, is it? You don't want to be a kid struggling to walk to find out your mum's in exactly the same state. But in this country, it's been more, isn't it? The young people who've been giving birth. Alfie Patton, supposedly a dad at 13 years old. And then they were saying, oh, no, he's not the dad, some people. I don't know what's going to happen to Alfie now. Maybe he's going to have to join Fathers for Justice. Hey, he's probably got a superhero costume, hasn't he?
Thank you, Andy. Okay, let's spin the wheel again. Okay, the topic is human behaviour.
Some things you can't help doing. Do you find this? Like, if you get a cold can of Diet Coke, it's not enough for you to go, that is freezing. You have to find somebody you love and put it on their face. You don't do that with any other food. This soup's boiling in your eyes! But for some reason, you become a fizzy torture. All right, Mum, Fanta to the knee! We're all fairly peculiar. Sometimes you think weird thoughts. I was in Tesco the other day. I was offered a bag for life, and I found myself going, I can't commit to that. You know? I don't know what bags are going to be like in the future. I feel like a tool if I got a plastic one in 2024. People go, I've got a new bag, it packs itself and speaks Spanish. Piece of shit. What can you do? I can suffocate a child. That's all you're good for. He can speak Spanish, I can hurt your hands on long journeys.
Well done, Ross up. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Prime Minister Gordon Brown in buoyant mood, but what does ROCB stand for?
Is it what he looks like when he smiles? Is it really old, creepy baby?
Is he just really desperate about his election chances now? He's only got one thing he can do, and he's going, right, OK, call Batman.
Is it ruined our country, bastard?
Is he just giving a weather forecast? Is it rain, occasional cloud, blizzards?
There's a row over Cameron's bedroom. He's already in there, measuring up the curtains.
What are you doing? Get out! Do you think he's actually just found a way to solve the national debt? Is he going, rollover could be billions?
Is he going, there's a robin on the corner of the building?
It would be nice. It would be nice if he just got more distracted by wildlife. That would be quite sweet.
He's just trying to draw attention from the polls. No, there's a robin on the corner of the building.
It's a true premise. It's a true premise that your government's in chaos. Is that a chaffinch?
Is it what he's going to do on May the 6th? Is it going to be removals ordered, cab booked?
Would I be right in thinking the art was something to do with recession?
It would,
Dara?
yes, you would be right.
Is it recession over complete bullshit?
Not that. You're halfway there, Mark.
Listen, that was lovely, the unemployed people. That's it, yeah. We live in Poundland.
Is it recession over confirms Brown?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Well done.
He always does it like that.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was recession over confirms Brown. This is the Prime Minister's cautious announcement of the end of the recession, although he said there is still much more that needs to be done. The Office for National Statistics revealed that this week the economy had grown in the last 3 months of 2009 by 0.1%.
Great day.
Wow. Gee, I just started that. How long is that? I don't think we expected that. We just thought, like, we expected that. That's what we expected. But that is just like... It is difficult to maintain that.
It doesn't matter, but you look like a giddy chameleon. That was amazing.
Yeah, midway through the show, if a fly goes past. All right, how is Gordon Brown doing and who is he trying to woo at the moment?
He's trying to woo the middle classes.
He is trying to woo the middle classes.
These aren't policies, these are M&S policies, don't they? He's going to change his name from Brown to Autumn Blush.
He's the most unpopular Prime Minister this country's ever had, and yet nobody in the Cabinet thinks they can defeat him in a leadership election. How crap are they?
But what you're forgetting, I think, that we don't know what goes on in the Cabinet, and everyone's got to remember that he has got one eye that doesn't work, and perhaps he would do what I would do if I was him in the Cabinet. I'd wear an eye patch. I'd sit there with an eye patch on, and I'd have a white cat.
There is a theory that Brown would pull over the wrong eye. There's also another thing that no one's going to run against Brown at the moment because what's the prize? You get to lead Labour into an election they'll probably lose. It's like going, oh my God, we've hit an iceberg. Can I drive the ship for a while? Can I?
It's like whatever is thrown at him, he still sort of gets up again. You half expect like Brian Blessed to just pop up every now and again and go, Gordon's alive.
He keeps on saying, I'm getting on with the job. He's like the Millwall of politicians. Nobody likes him, but he doesn't care.
That's what I mean. He's one of those, and he's having a go, and you think, well, that's all right, but you're running the country. It's like if somebody came in and said, look, I'm not a great surgeon, but I'll have a go.
Basically,
put the hours in.
I've sewn on a button, so I know I can finish the job. But getting to the stuff, I'm sure I'll recognise the kidney when I see it.
I've played the board game.
There's a photograph of him and Darling, actually, which was very interesting, because him and Darling at the same time the announcement. That, interestingly, is the £10 note that tipped us out of the recession.
But the reason why the economy's grown in the last 3 months is because we had Christmas, isn't it? And people, of course, spend money at Christmas.
Okay.
It's the only time people go absolutely mad. I don't see anyone in July going, I need goose fat. You know?
Basically, though, Western capitalism, isn't it? It's based on people buying stuff they don't need with money they don't have, as opposed to Christmas time, when everybody buys things nobody needs with money they don't have for people they don't even like.
It's a beautiful message. Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. Okay, here we go. The first subject is magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
Okay. As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong, like the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. I said, now listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to David Dan. Come on back, both of you. This is the news that IPSA review body has proposed a rise in MPs' pay to around £74,000 a year, an increase of 9% on their current salary of around £66,000. Should they get a pay rise?
No.
Why?
Well, because it's easy for me to score points with the audience by saying no.
OK.
£8 hardly enough to put a secret love child through private school.
Well, it's not like football, is it? In football, you have to stop other countries nicking your best players. It's not like other governments are trying to nick our politicians, is it? Cameron's going to be out like, I've said no to Spain, they can't have Gove. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to buy him.
I feel quite sorry for MPs, because people all think that all MPs are money-grabbing bastards. But they're not all money-grabbing.
Ed Miliband has said that he's going to stop any Labour MPs having a second job by the next election. But, of course, by then, a lot of them won't have a first job, will they?
They get 15 quid a day food allowance for lunch.
Yes, they do. And
that's like free Subway sandwiches. That's free footlongs. That's 36-inch of sandwich. That is too much for anyone. You can wear it as a belt.
George Osborne looks like he could take 36 inches.
I don't think the voucher is exclusively for Subway.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, this is only redeemable at the Parliament Subway. And the queue is really long. This is one Subway guy making...
It's the travel stuff, right? They're being restricted on taxis. They're not going to be allowed to use taxis anymore. Not going to be allowed to use taxis. Where are Tory MPs going to get their ideas if they're not allowed to take taxis? David Cameron is so basically like a taxi driver. I'm surprised he doesn't stand with his back to the dispatch box going, I'll tell you the country's problem. It's immigration. That's the problem with this country.
They never have proper second jobs, do they? It's always like a posh sort of business role. It's never just like because I used to work in a market and in a pub. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad used to be a carpet fitter and on the dole. Do you know what I mean? They've always got posh.
Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Leslie Ash. Now, she's just got compensation, didn't she? Because she got MRSA. The reason she was in hospital, right, was apparently she'd punctured a lung and broken 2 ribs during energetic sex. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking she was doing it wrong. If somebody said to me, would you like to have sex, but it could end up in you puncturing your lung, I think I'd go, oh, you go ahead, I'll sort myself out.
Okay, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is George Bush. Who wants to come in?
Oh, I'll go. Well, what can I say about George Bush? He's doing a tremendous job and he's enormously popular right now. In the last poll in the United States, he came in just behind testicular cancer. He's the only president I can remember who wears an American flag pin on his lapel. Why? So he can remember what country he's in charge of? Ladies and gentlemen of America, he's always banging on about 9/11, right? 9/11, 9/11. Or, as the rest of the world knows it, 11/9. We're the only people who date that way. America's so arrogant because we put the month first. We think everybody knows what we mean. Imagine how perplexing that is to people in France. 9/11. What happened on November 9th? That was a good day. I got a hand job. Why are they crying all the time? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that leaves us with Frankie and Fred. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is modern men. Who wants to come in on that? Fred McCauley.
There's a trend for modern young men now to get waxed. I did recently have my legs waxed. I have to say it was for charity. And my pals were saying, have you ever had that done before, Macaulay? And I'm going, no. Well, it could be painful. So I went along. I was ticket number 14. There were 13 ladies in front of me getting their legs waxed. And I was watching them with interest. And there seemed to be no bother at all. The wax is going on. It's kind of, oh, Joanne. What is it, Tess? Who's picking the kids up? Oh, the au pair will get them. Nothing to it, I think. I got up there. The wax was on. I'll never walk again! What I didn't know is that women, when they're getting their legs waxed, have epidurals beforehand. I mean, I'm not tempted, to shave other parts of my anatomy, I've been lonely and fed up in hotel rooms, but I've never once thought, I think I'll get the sharpest thing in my toilet bag out and apply it to the wrinkliest part of my anatomy. And I'm not talking about my elbows.
Fred McCauley. Okay, let's see who we've been left with for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. Children.
What an unbelievably sinister photograph. Don't worry, this is light-hearted whimsy. I've got a wee baby now, he's 9 months. I'm starting to get a bit fucking sick of him, to be honest. I went to the birth, and going to the birth, it really does bring home the wonder, the miracle, I suppose, that is contraception. Seriously, don't go. It's like watching the deleted scenes from Platoon. I got a wee daughter now, she's 4. And the other day, this is true, we're sitting having breakfast, and my daughter goes, Daddy, what's the best thing in the world? So I didn't even have to think about it, right? I said, darling, you're the best thing in the world. Didn't even have to think about it. It's definitely you. And she sat there for a bit, and then she went, for me, it's sausages.
Ladies and gentlemen, that round, the points go to Frankie and Greg. The next round is called Between the Lines and it features Hugh and Frankie. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Frankie delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. Frankie, this week, you are leader of the opposition, David Cameron, addressing the nation.
Let me assure you, I understand the pain of the people of Tewkesbury.
We're both up to our necks in shit.
This summer, I have put the Tory party back where they belong.
Third in 2 by-elections.
I have been criticised recently for my poor performances.
I told the wife it's the stress of the job.
I'm not worried about the polls.
They're doing a lovely job in my kitchen.
Boris Johnson will make a great mayor. He has a lot in common with London's first mayor.
He's a dick.
I have taken steps to ensure that I will be the next Prime Minister of this great country.
Dear Jimmy. Could you fix it for me?
Let's over here, Frankie. Let's see the first topic, please. The first subject is catering. Anyone's given that? Josh.
My favourite place to eat is the breakfast buffet in a hotel. Because at a breakfast buffet, I will eat absolutely everything. That's the rule, isn't it? At home, I will have cereal or toast for breakfast. At a breakfast buffet, I am having cereal and toast as my starter. In combinations you would never consider at home. Coming back and what have I got? Well, 8 hash browns, topped with some Dutch cheese, actually. I have 4 pain au chocolat, 6 croissants, some segments of a fruit I've never heard of, and 12 of the smallest orange juices you have ever seen in your life. I eat so much at breakfast buffet, I'm so tired I have to go back to bed. I then sleep through to my next breakfast buffet. Remixing the cereals, going crunchy nut cornflakes with shreddies. Who do I think I am, Heston Blumenthal? You've got to do it, don't you? It's like when you're in Nando's, they give you the plastic glass to pour your own drink. I think, well, I'd be an idiot not to make myself a spranter in this situation, wouldn't I? What am I having? Having a Sprocofola, actually, yeah, all of it. What did it taste like? Utter shit, absolutely terrible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. OK, let's have a look at the next subject. And the topic is smoking. Let's come out. Joe.
I've actually given up smoking, which, well, that's a lie. I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those pricks that says they've given up and then goes to the pub and smokes yours. Because, well, when I was a proper smoker, I hated pricks like that. I really like... You know, someone comes to you and go, have you got a spare cigarette? I go, no. Because unfortunately, I'm addicted to them. Which means I pretty much take a shine to all of them. Have you got a spare cigarette? Yeah, I do, weirdly, because I'm a 19-a-day man myself. Punch away, you knobhead. When I was, like... Warnings, they do nothing for me. Like, you know, the warnings, they're quite drastic things. They're like smoking kills. So? Well, like a horrible picture, and still people don't give up. And I thought, bloody hell. So I've come up with a couple of ideas, right, to get people to give up smoking. They're just ideas, right? You could either put a warning on cigarette packets that says something like, one of these fags has been up a dog's arse. Yeah, I think that'll separate the men from the boys, isn't it? Or simply make cigarettes cock-shaped.
Well done, Joe. Thank you very much. So that leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've got. And the topic is school.
That last bloke was a bit weird, wasn't he? Anyway, I went back to my old school the other day, first time in 30 years. I took a note. Teacher said, so, Jones, what have you done with your life? I said, oh, I'm just Britain's top Ofsted inspector. They were a lot nicer to me after that. I was there for the funeral of my old science teacher. They asked me to say a few words, so I did. Method. We put the coffin in the crematorium. Observations. It burned with an orangey bright flame. Conclusion. No more homework.
Well done. Pointing out to the Milton Jones. Very good. There's the back. There we go. Unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
Cold. Sorry, that is wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. Okay. Sorry, Hugh. You like to go in there? Yeah,
it's okay.
absolutely.
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a girl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 Sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. $12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro, Mesut Ozil. Fast forward.
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something, so they brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Things you wouldn't hear in a charity appeal.
British Red Cross. Just 3 adjectives to describe the average UKIP voter.
Stuck in a chair, barely able to move. Please help us get Dara walking again.
Peter Andre will be with us later. He's got a new single, and if our donations don't double, we'll let him perform it.
For just 50p, Dara O'Brien will toss you off in comic hand relief.
50p?
50p, there's no way I'm paying that.
Give me a quid at least, I'm classy. Kiss him and everything.
Shoplifters Anonymous, helping people to help themselves.
If you're starting a family, why not consider adoption? But hurry up, otherwise it'll only be the ugly ones left.
With your money, I'm going to start a human organ delivery service called Liveroo.
Every day, these people walk up to 15 steps to get water. With your money, we can employ waiters at Nando's.
At the National Trust, for just £70 a year, you can have unlimited access to national treasures, like the gardens of Stour Head or the sumptuous interior of Judi Dench.
The thing with a disease like HIV is that many people are just ignorant. Most people don't even realise that HIV is just Roman for high five.
Robin needs clean, cold water and something nutritious to eat, because last night he got shit-faced.
These people are disease-ridden. They haven't had a shower for weeks. Donate now. Save a life in Magaluf.
This is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. This tiger has 3 dicks. How sick is that?
Give a man a duck and he'll feed himself for a week. Teach a man to duck and he'll avoid low-flying objects.
With your money last year, we took this homeless man and completely transformed him into a homeless woman.
And now on Comic Relief, it's time for some harrowing footage as the cast of Birds of a Feather sing the hits from Greece.
Between you and me, those rescue cats can't even swim, let alone rescue anyone.
The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the only charity looking after the needs of Cockney women.
For just the price of a cup of coffee, we can get little Nagubu a cup of coffee.
Pale, sad, and hungry. We're raising money for the Irish football team.
Okay, game up and points go to Milk and Hugh and Angela. There's just a small note from the desk that I get into my ear. Frankie, Hugh, they're just a tiny editorial just tweak. If we could have stuff which we actually can broadcast.
Nobody mentioned that. They have been slagging off.
Oh, cramp, man. It's just...
Sorry, that's
you
really...
managed
You had a sports injury in the first 20 minutes of the show.
Sorry.
Morris, dance it off, Russell.
Yeah, I can't, man.
You've got to lie down.
Leave me alone.
Get down, get down!
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
It's really telling that the two guests in the show ran to help while the regulars all sat here on our fat holes going, he'll bounce back.
Sorry about that.
There was a fly. There wasn't a fly. There genuinely was. There was a.
Did you catch it?
No, I didn't. What am I, the fucking Karate Kid or something? No, I didn't.
Is it, in the last round of Mock the Week, scenes we'd like to see, how many goes am I going to get to go before...
To go?
To go. To go before Russell interrupts me because I've mispronounced what I was trying to say.
You three, particularly like that look like the evolution of man.
They could be walking like that. We'll have to stand that
Saying, weren't they, that Hurricane Katrina was down to... I'll start that again.
What were they saying,
I've got goo. I've got goo all over my face.
What?
Not the first time either.
Don't say that, mate.
Ding, ding. Thank you.
Do you think I look like Pierce Brosnan with a mouthful of sweets?
At the end of that round... okay, sorry, I'll do it without slouching quite as much.
At the end of the round, bring me more wine.
You did iron in your shirt, right? You just say it.
In a vest, like a fat Marlon Brando at the end of his career. What? Oh yeah, points for Russell, and then back.
As it's the last week, let's just have you with like a rotisserie chicken.